Hey everyone, Works here. So we're back with the long-promised Death Knight Talent deep dive in Dragonflight. Now, Death Knight class I'm probably not going to consider for a main, but may level up later on in the expansion itself. But a class that, I'm always going to hold interest in because this class always manages to grip me back into it, being kind of a Death Knight fan. So I normally have to start with the tank spec, but I decided this time I'm going to go a little bit differently. I'm going to do reverse alphabetical order on these specs. So we're going to start today with the Unholy Death Knight tree, and then I'll be doing Frost and then Blood after that. So Unholy Death Knight tree is got some interesting choices in the spec tree in particular, and the class tree just got massively reworked so that it becomes a little bit better for the specs to kind of get certain abilities that they really enjoy. So let's go ahead and deep dive into this spec tree. Now, of course, you see that as Unholy, you get Ghoul itself to start. Now, this is not the perma Ghoul. This is just the temporary Ghoul, the last 1 minute. Right into, cleaving strikes, which makes your Death and Decay hit up to additional targets. Death and Decay is baseline, so this just gives you the cleave aspect, so you're guaranteed to get an AoE talent regardless of what type of build you're looking for. Now, this row is kind of the one that I think for Unholy I'm the most disappointed in, because you have Sacrificial Pact, which you want to sacrifice your Ghoul. You don't really want to do that as an Unholy Death Knight. Control Undead, still don't really want to do because you have your own Ghoul. And then you have Enfeeble, which gives your Ghoul attacks to basically reduce movement speed and the damage they deal to you by 15% for 6 seconds. Now, if that damage they deal to you includes like AoE attacks, then this is probably going to be your best option overall, even though it's not yet implemented. For now, we're going to skip all these talent rows, even though I do want to get Brittle. Actually, we'll just pick Enfeeble into Brittle, which gives you a chance to do 6% more damage against them for 5 seconds and a 15% proc chance on every tick of the disease, which you're going to keep Virulent Plague up all the time anyways, so not the end of the day. Now we're going to go to the other side of the tree. Again, we're focused on a more Mythic Plus style build, but we'll talk about anything single target that comes up along the way as well. We are going to go ahead and grab Chains of Ice because we needed to get Mind Freeze and Anticipation to give you the 10% runic power and a 3-second cooldown. Now, on either side, you can grab Blinding Sleep for a potential interrupt on like unkickable spells, or grab Permafrost, which gives you an 40% of the damage dealt on an auto attack. Probably not going to be very good for Unholy because you're just not getting a bunch of auto attacks out. So not a talent that's going to be overall very useful. And then we'll go ahead and grab Icebound Fortitude because you need the defensive. Go ahead and grab Death Strike because you need a way to heal yourself up. But we're going to come back to this side of the tree in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and grab Might of Thessarian to give you 2% increased strength, and we'll go ahead and grab Merciless Strikes to give you 2% increased crit strike chance. Both of these are quite good. We're going to go ahead and grab Acclamation to get 60 seconds off your Icebound Fortitude to make it a 2-minute cooldown into Runic Empowerment. Basically, you get 2% chance to instantly grant you a rune. Death Coil is 40. Epidemic is 30, so you're talking about a 60 and 80% chance to grant a rune versus Runic Corruption, which is a 1.6% chance per runic power spent, so you're talking like a 50% chance. Runic Empowerment is just better, so you're going to grab Runic Empowerment pretty much on all 3 specs unless they do something to buff Runic Corruption to be equal to what Empowerment gives. And then at that point, it's, do you want to gain Burst Rune, or do you want to gain like all potentially recharging runes generate a little bit faster? Right now, there's just no choice. You grab Empowerment because the chance that you're going to get the rune back is much higher on it. That's where we're going to stop on the Frost side of the tree for the time being, and I'll explain why here in a little bit. We're going to come back to this side of the tree. For Mythic Plus, you can grab either Grip of the Dead or Death's Reach, depending on what you need. I think either one is fine. You also can grab Lichborn to give you 10% leech, so potentially good there. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and grab Death's Reach so that we can unlock Unholy Ground, which gives you 5% haste while inside Death and Decay. Now, we need 6 more points to come down, and there's not a lot else here on this side of the tree or this side of the tree that I want to get, so guess where we're going? Right here to Anti-Magic Shell. We're going to grab Death's Advance for our speed. You can grab Death Pact, of course, as well. Now, both of these go to like an Avoidance and a Leech talent. I think both of these are pretty underwhelming, but Veteran of the Third War, very good, and you don't have to grab A and B to grab it. Now, you can grab Improved Anti-Magic Barrier, essentially, if you think that it's going to be more useful to you. It's going to be very encounter dependent. Of course, we grab AMZ, and Wraith Walk, so that we can get, you know, double movement speed. And then we'll go ahead and that opens up the bottom row here. Now, on the bottom row, here's where we're going to probably stop here. Runic Continuation. Auto attacks have a chance to generate 5 runic power. You don't do a lot of auto attacking as Unholy, so this talent is not all that great. Icy Talons, your runic power spending abilities increase your melee attack speed by up to 6% for 6 seconds. Now, this only says Death Knight Frost. Now, if Icy Talons works off of like Epidemic and Death Coil, then this might be worth investing 3 points in, but it's a heavy investment. So it has to be tested. If it's been tested on alpha and somebody knows, please comment below. I'd love to know, because I haven't really looked in that deep into Death Knight stuff, because I'm kind of just generally reading about alpha and really waiting for the monk and DK, or monk and paladin troops to come in. So I haven't really looked too much into the DK side of things. So if Icy Talons does proc off of the Unholy spenders, then these points become valuable. If they don't, they're useless. We are going to go ahead and grab Unholy Bond to give you 30% more on your Runeforge effects. So that's probably still going to be Fallen Crusader. So 15% strength, now increasing that by 30. So that's 1.5, 3, 4.5%. So now you're getting almost 35%. Or no, wait, 4.5 would be almost, it'd be basically about 20% strength instead of 15% off of Rune and Fallen Crusader, and it might impact the heal, which is never a bad thing. And of course, you grab Soul Reaper because Unholy is going to be a massively good execute class. So from here, this is kind of where things get a little bit interesting. Again, we have 8 points left to spend in this tree. Now, I'm going to go off the assumption that Icy Talons doesn't work, but I'll show if it does work where those points get spent. Woodland Necropolis is just a good passive defensive talent, and to improve Death Strike to get 60% more healing off of Death Strike, and Death Strike is a base 45 runic power, makes it 35 runic power, so much more runic power efficient in order to use it. Then we're going to grab A-Bomb Slam. That leaves us with 3 points. If Icy Talons doesn't work, you can grab Rune Mastery to get 6% strength for 6 seconds on any rune you consume. So Festering Strike gives you 2 runes. I don't know what the proc chance is on this. Is it like 50%? Is it 20%? Is it only like 5%? Kind of have to see what the numbers are, like what's the percentage per rune that you get this strength bonus. So Rune Mastery could be good. And then you can come back up here and grab some utility stuff. So you can grab something like Asphyxiate for a Mythic Plus. You can grab Assimilation to get more runic power and get a better AMZ. You can grab double Chains of Ice to get Proliferating Chill. You can come get Blinding Sleep. Like, if Icy Talons doesn't work, then you can get some really nice utility. So we'll go Rune Master, Assimilation, and Blinding Sleep. If Icy Talons does work, though, you're grabbing it. It's melee attack speed, 6% melee attack speed for spending rune powers. That's just going to mean more here. But again, compared to Rune Mastery, what do we look like? Now, this means that you also have the choice of either taking Empower a Rune Weapon to give you 15% haste, generate a rune, and 5 runic power. You would trade out A-Bomb Limb for that. Actually, no, you have to get Soul Reaper. So, like, you know, if that's the case, you can probably trade out points and improve Death Strike. Like, even potentially skip it all if you're not going for A-Bomb Limb and grab this, and then you have a point to flex. If you're going A-Bomb Limb, then you have to get rid of Empower Rune Weapon in order to get A-Bomb Limb. So overall, the tree... That was my parents' dog, sorry about that. So overall, this tree is a lot better than what it was originally and offers some choice. Again, I'm going to repeat this again for like the 5th time, apologies, but if Icy Talons does work off of Unholy Spenders, please tell me, because then that will determine if you go this build, where you skip A-Bomb Limb and you get Empower Rune Weapon, or if it doesn't work, then you go A-Bomb Limb with Improved Death Strike into like 3 Flex Utility talents. For single target, like, you could possibly go grab Death's Echo instead of Rune Mastery, depending on what that talent point looks like. You can grab Horn of Winter to give you more runes and runic power. Like, there's some options depending on the strength of Rune Mastery that you could get here. Now, in the Unholy tree, you're going to grab Festering Strike, you're going to grab Scourge Strike, you're going to make the Raised Dead permanent, you're going to get Outbreak, you're going to get Sudden Doom, and you're going to grab, for AoE, you'd grab Epidemic. I think you're going to probably get this anyway. Now, this is Infectious Wounds, has a chance of applying additional wounds, or you can grab Festering Strike and Festering Wound damage increased by 30%. Both of these talents are kind of eh. They're not very good. They're going to rework in this one a little bit. This is still the old tooltip. So they're going to rework this into a new talent. Depending on what that is, this could potentially be a choice. For now, I'm just going to take the Festering Strike because, like, okay, yeah, you're not doing a lot, but, you know, still 30% damage on your wound builder is probably going to be your best choice. Replenishing wounds is going to be good because you get the additional runic power when you pop Festering Wounds. We're going to go ahead and grab Dark Transformation just because it's going to be pretty universal. Here, Ebon Fever, if it still operates like it does in Shadowlands, it's not going to be very good because you get, you know, yeah, you get 15% more damage in, you know, half the duration, but that means you're spending more runes refreshing Outbreak. So, like, may or may not be useful. Defile or Unholy Pact, I think this is going to be, again, a tuning thing. I'm a big fan of Defile, so I'm going to take it. And then, of course, we grab Army of the Dead. This means we can also grab Unholy Command to get more Dark Transformation uptime. Be 1 second off for Death Coil. You know, so again, pure single target, but even in AoE situations, this is going to be fine. And then, of course, Improved Death Coil will be more the AoE side. Actually, what we're going to do. So this is the other weird thing, is that, like, these talent, like, this is an AoE talent. This is a single target talent. These are AoE talents. This is kind of an AoE talent. So, like, this almost feels a little bit out of place. So we're going to grab Defile. We're going to grab Unholy Command. And we need 5 more points to spend. So, Deadly Coil, I think, is going to be baked, like, the cost reduction is going to be baked into Death Coil baseline. So that's going to probably remove this talent. But we want it for AoE purposes to get Infected Claws for better wound generation. And then Reaping, because Reaping is just going to be very good. Like, it's just a really good talent. So that's 4 points spent. So we need 1 more to get down to the tree. We're going to do Scourge Strike damage just to open this up. Now, here's the interesting thing. So what they've done with Unholy is that they've tried to cycle their cooldowns a little bit more so that they're not as desynced. So, like, their goal is to basically make it like 30, 60, and I think like 120, minute and a half. So 30, 60, 90 or something like that. Type cooldowns effects with, of course, Army of the Dead being 8 minutes still. And what this does is this makes Apocalypse a little less awkward to play. And because this build is going to generate a ton of Festering Wounds, it means that Apocalypse actually is going to be good to take. And depending on how many points you want to spend, it's one of your only paths to Army of the Damned. So, is what it is. We are going to go ahead and grab Death Rot. So, Death Coil debilitates your enemy, applying Death Rot, causing them to take 2% increased shadow damage up to 20% for 8 seconds. If it consumes a sudden Doom proc, it applies 2 stacks of Death Rot. This is basically just a small little damage, shadow damage increase. I'm not the biggest fan of this talent, but we needed to get Festermite, and we needed to get Unholy Assault. And then, of course, we have Ghoulish Frenzy, Army of the Damned, and Morbidity. I think this is probably going to be your build for AoE. This does mean that you're passing up something like Bursting Sores, which you can take. You can grab, you know, if you wanted to drop out of these 3 points right here, you could grab Bursting Sores right here, get rid of Reaping, because basically a below 35% health in Mythic Plus is not the biggest thing. So actually Reaping is better off in a single target situation. And of course that means we have to grab Improved Death Coil, Apocalypse here, 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 here. Wait a second, I'm missing something. Oh. Let's go here, 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 here. Oh, this is awkward. Scourge Strike damage. Let's see how many. I only have 3. So I can't get Unholy Assault with this build. Interesting. I'll still have to mess around with these trees, but this is kind of generally what we want to do. Let me get rid of Improved Death Coil. Grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, this. Probably have to take out Infected Claws for Unholy Assault just because it's going to be better. So you can run in Unholy Assault, Apocalypse, Dark Transformation, and that's going to give you 8% strength right off the start before you even get into hitting like a Festering Strike. So, and then of course you're also getting 6% more damage here, along with 6% more damage here. You're getting attack speed and damage if you enter monstrosity during dark transformation, which is going to be a 1-minute cooldown that gets reduced, or apocalypse rather gets reduced, because this is just a flat 1-minute cooldown. This is going to be 1.5 minutes. So I think their goal is basically that apocalypse and dark transformation will generally line up at the same time all the time. So I think that's their goal there. So I think this is kind of like an AoE build for single target. You'll grow, I think you'll go this route. Still grab this for now because we don't know what the other one's going to be. Ebon Fever if it's good. 20% more damage on Death Coil. Unholy Pact. That's right, baby. We are going this build for single target. So you get Unholy Blight applying the Virulent Plague. You get Summon Gargoyle, which you want to build up. You get 8% more damage on your minions, so that boosts your Ghoul in Dark Transformation. It boosts your Apocalypse Ghouls. It boosts your Army of the Dead. You're getting extra Ebon Fever talent. You can potentially skip these 3 points if you need to get points over like in Death Rot and Festermite potentially, or you come down here and get replenishing wounds into more Scourge Strike damage. Like, I think that's possibility here, so let's like do this. And then you go boom, 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 boom. And you basically skip out on Ghoulish Frenzy. Because you go a point there, and then you get maybe 1 point there, or you can go 1 point in Death Rot. I think either one is fine. It's going to be a math question. It's like this build is also possible for single target, and I'm really interested in that as well. So overall, the Unholy Tree has some awkwardness to it still. I think they've done a lot better with syncing the cooldowns. It's just this part of the tree right here feels very awkward to try and use. It's not that they've made bad connections or anything like that. It's just that the talents feel a little bit like out of place almost. And this side of the tree over here is a little bit weird. Deadly Coil, I think they said they were going to bake it into the baseline thing, so they're either going to have to replace this and just shift these 2 talents up, which I think would make sense. And then you just do a long connection here to Unholy Blight. That saves you 2 points, where you can grab something like Ebon Fever into improved Death Coil, or you come over here and get the second, grab Death Rot into a point of Festermite to get even that little bit of strength bonus. Like, it makes these options. Also, this part of the tree with Pestilence, Pestilent Pustules, and Clawing Shadows, Scourge Strike, like, this whole middle part of the tree is still very awkward in my opinion. I think there's some refinement that can happen in that middle part of the tree, just because, like, this is, okay, single target with AoE inside Death and Decay. This is a talent that has been garbage for its entire existence. So it's like, that's an AoE talent because you generally can get 1 wound on multiple enemies. Pestilent Pustules gives you a chance to get Runic Corruption, but you already have Runic Empowerment, which is better. Clawing Shadows, it's fine, it's niche. You can use it when you need to use it, but otherwise it's kind of niche. So like, this stuff right here is just like very weird, because these 2 talents are pretty bad. You take Pestilent Pustules now because, like, you don't even take Pestilent Pustules now because it's on the same line as Soul Reaper. So like, these talents are just bad. No one really uses them, but they connect to like three-ish pretty good talents. And over here you have Infected Claws, All Will Serve, Reaping, all tied to Deadly Coil. Again, just kind of awkward. And then, like I said, this middle of the tree we kind of already talked about. Like, this is just a 1 point talent, but this is a 2 point talent. So like, maybe they cut this down by 1 point, and that kind of smooths out the middle of this tree by quite a bit. Now, that said, I hope that they do something to buff Gargoyle. I think it'll be, if they made it back to 1% increased damage for every runic power spent, I think that probably makes it a lot better, because then basically you stack up 100 runic power, summon your Gargoyle, Death Coil, and then that's immediately 80% increased damage, and you would go. Right now you're only getting 40% increased damage, which is still nothing to shake a stick at, but, So, but this single target Unholy Tree definitely intrigues me. I have a talent point over here. Did I miss something? We'll just grab Horn of Winter for the rune generation. So that's the Unholy Tree, guys. I think the Unholy Tree is better than the original incarnation. I'd still like to see the middle tier, the 8 to 20 point tier, maybe be looked at and evaluated a little bit, because the talents on the outside in particular are really awkward, and the point value in the middle of the middle tier, if that makes sense, is a little bit strange. But overall, I think the Unholy Tree is in a much better position now than it was a couple, at the start of alpha, or even when they released the trees initially. And the blood tree, or the Death Knight tree itself, is in a much better position, and I really like the choices. They really kind of streamlined out the bottom of the tree, they streamlined out the top and middle of the tree, so there's a lot of good options up there that feel really optional. And they made it so that you can't get Sacrificial Pact without your ghoul, which is smart decision making. So I think the Death Knight tree is in a much better place. Biggest thing again is my question about Icy Talons, which, for those of you that have forgotten, does this work on Unholy spenders? If it does, it's 3 points worth the investment. If it doesn't, then it's a waste. So if you know, please tell me. I really want to know, like genuinely want to know. And then the Unholy tree itself, I think, is in a better place, but they really need to evaluate the middle part of this tree. That's the TLDR. So for those of you that are stuck around here at the little over 21 minute mark, appreciate you for sticking around with me. I'll do Frost Tree coming up here soon. So until the next video, I hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all getting vaccinated. I hope you're all having fun. Hope you're all keep gaming. And I'm going to see you all in the next video.